Welcome to Mark Allen's Culinary Adventures as we begin to celebrate the lunar calendar and the Lunar New Year, which is coming up in, wow, I think it's less than 2 weeks away, around February 17th, just after Valentine's Day. And our guest is Robert Schueller from Melissa's. We have two recipes, and we're going to tell you what each of the vegetables that we're using mean. They have significance in the lunar calendar. I learned the following phrase years ago, gung ho bat choy, which means Happy New Year in Chinese. So, Happy New Year, and we're going to start the show. We'll be back. We are going to be making something with this. I'll bet you don't know what it is. So we're going to find out what it is from Robert Schueller, who is a master of vegetables and fruit. So let's bring Robert in from Melissa's. Robert, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Mark, for having me back there.
Oh, are you kidding? I can't wait for whatever we're going to do in a couple of months. I'm already looking forward to it. This is bok choy or baby bok choy. Quickly tell us what this is all about.
All right. Well, that is one of the many leafy greens. It's actually in the cabbage family. It is a very popular veggie that you would find in most produce departments across the country. It's a cross-cultural item and is very popular, especially in Asia. It has really caught on to menus and restaurants across the United States. It is a leafy green that you just simply heat up and enjoy. You can use it it's used in various ways. There's the large size, which is the regular, is called the baby, which is called the bok choy. And then what you're holding there, what we're going to be using in the recipe is baby bok choy. It cooks faster. It's very delicate. You basically buy the product at your local store, farmer's market, wash it off, cut off just the very end of the stem end, and you're up and cooking in what is becoming a very delicious accompaniment to any meal or appetizer.
And according to the recipe, I have separated the white part from the green part. And you can see that here. And we're going to start by, I believe, putting in the white part. Am I correct?
The stem.
The
Correct. You
stem.
put in the stem because it takes a little bit longer to cook there because the leaves are very delicate like any other leafy green. And so you're going to put the stem in first, which is characteristic of the whitish color, unlike the leaf, which is a pure green color there. So the entire part of the whole baby bok choy is completely edible once you buy it at the store. You just need to wash it off and cut it up.
Got it. I may add just a tad more oil. Now, I use safflower oil. Um, uh, it's it has a very high heat and um, uh, there's little or no taste to it. Do you ever use safflower oil?
Yeah, you could definitely use safflower oil or any vegetable oil of your preference there. Some even like using sesame oil. I know that sesame oil is required in the recipe as well as sesame seeds.
Right. I've got some sesame seeds that we've toasted. And as I told Robert, I tried to toast these things 3 times and I kept burning them. Carol did it once and they're nice and golden. Oh, well. So uh, we're going to let that cook where we have the wok on high. How long should we let that cook for?
Oh, only a few minutes there. The baby bok choy in comparison to the typical bok choy is much more tender, so the cooking time is probably less than half. So only a few minutes, and then we'll start combining all the other ingredients for this stir fry bok choy. Makes a
Got it.
great side dish.
And I think do it. What do we put in next?
You can go ahead and combine the rest of the oil, um, the um, the keep it on high heat. Coat. Make sure that the baby bok choy is coated, and then you can go ahead and put in the ginger that you have already. The ginger, the garlic, the salt, the pepper, and you're basically going to cook for about 1 minute. At the very end, you're going to add the green leaves because they cook up super fast.
Now, Carol and I are big on ginger. I'm going to show you the ginger we have. I took the ginger. I used something you taught us last time, and you use a spoon and you take um, you can peel uh, the ginger easily, and I did that, and then I minced it, and we'll be using this in the other recipes. But Carol and I like a lot of garlic and ginger. We're going to add some garlic now, um, and I'm using I'm using one of my favorite things in the world, uh, Robert. I have to tell you, the pre-minced garlic from Melissa. Um, I don't mind peeling and working with fresh garlic. You also have a peeled garlic that I've used, but this is just makes my life so easy because it's like that. So comes in a little jar. Once it's open, I keep it in my refrigerator. It's just great stuff. I think I'm going to put in next garlic. Oh, salt and pepper. I've got that right here. Salt and oh, Carol, can you give me some pepper, please? And I'm going to do I put in the greens yet? No, that's at the end.
You'll do that at the very end. Make
Got
sure
it.
you put in all the other items, the herbs that you're using there, the garlic, the ginger root, salt and pepper. Then you're just going to cook it for another minute. And then, yes, at the end there, the final step is adding the leafy greens because the leafy greens on the bok choy are very tender. And you're going to add in the broth and cover that for 2 minutes. That's it. That is a very
Okay.
short cooking time, and it's one of the traditional recipes that is served during Lunar New Year, which is actually a 2 week celebration that is celebrated in all of Asia. Over the last few years, it has become a very much Americanized holiday in which the culture of Asian foods during that time become more popular. I know there are cities, major metropolitan cities across the United States that typically will have parades and events during the Lunar New Year. This year, yes, as you mentioned earlier, it is on February 17th, and it is the year of the horse.
I wanted to be born in something other than the year of the monkey because that was my year. Huh? Rabbit? Oh, I can have a rabbit. I thought it was I was born in the year of the monkey. You know what year you were born in, Robert?
Yeah, I'm the year of the ox. So
Got it. Hey, um, all right. I've got the greens in. Now we're going to add some of this. I think this is a relatively new product, uh, Costa Azul Rojo, which is a, there we go. Um, it'll add a little bit of a zip to the dish.
Yes, the Costa Azul sauce is one of Melissa's newer. It is a sriracha styled sauce. This is to add a little bit of spiciness into the dish. A little goes a long way. The main ingredient are red jalapenos. So they're sweet and with a little bit of heat, and will go good with any Lunar New Year recipe that you want a little bit of zip into.
And you want this covered for a while?
Yes, with the broth
Oh, I didn't put the broth.
and the leaves and the leaves for about 2 minutes, and then you're good to go.
Got it. Okay. Here's some broth. Oh, that smells good. Robert, what's the first ingredient I should put into our big bowl?
Okay, so next we're gonna do a traditional fried wonton. If I didn't mention, Mark, that these two recipes in particular that we're doing together, you can find on melissas.com. There's a section on our homepage that will lead you to Lunar New Year recipes. But first, we're going to combine all the ingredients in the bowl there, except the oil and, of course, the wonton wrappers that we're going to do there. And what we're going to do is mix all the ingredients. So the ingredients include scallions, which are green onions. We're going to mix in the ginger, the shredded carrots, the celery, or you can use any type of cabbage as well. So you can use baby bok choy. To give some color, you're also going to add in some red cabbage. That is optional. And of course, also the traditional Napa cabbage, which is probably the most well-known cabbage variety there. Um, and
There's a
it's all shredded up. Again, the recipe for this wonton is on the melissas.com website.
and I'll show you. This is what a Napa cabbage looks like, in case you didn't know. Um, and it's used in a lot of different Asian cultures. Uh, uh, I make kimchi out of it often because it's one of my favorite things to eat and consume. But I wanted you to see what it looks like. It's a big, heavy um, head, and it's delicious. And I took
Now,
leaves. Yeah,
Mark, there's what I failed to mention in the previous recipe and in this recipe. So any of the leafy greens, that includes any of the cabbages, bok choy, baby bok choy, and that's in this case Napa. There's symbolism behind the different foods for the Lunar New Year. So all the ones that are like a leafy green cabbage there, the symbolism represents wealth. And we'll be talking about this as you use some of these ingredients and put them together. Another Another example is because we're doing a wonton recipe, and I know you'll be pulling them out of the package pretty soon.
yeah.
And wontons are traditionally served to guests as a blessing for good fortune. So that's one thing that many of the ingredients that are put together in the traditional Lunar New Year for the recipes during the 2 week, there's a lot of symbolism behind them.
I just put in some grated carrots, uh, uh, and that adds some color too. Do we? Is there any? Let's see. I've got to add some soy sauce, and while there are measurements, I'm not a measurer. I never have been. Do you measure when you're cooking?
I kind of do, but I can eyeball it like you. So,
And I've got some rice wine vinegar. How much?
mhm,
Ooh, a cup. That's
one
a
cup.
lot. I'll take this off. Okay.
So what we're doing here, Mark, is we're creating the interior of what is to go. It's a mixture of all these leafy greens and root carrots, root vegetables that make these wontons so tasty when you go out to eat. So this is an easy recipe. It's not as complex as you think, but once you put the whole base together of all the different leafy greens, the soy sauce, the rice wine vinegar, also a little bit of an eighth teaspoon of sugar, salt and pepper, and everything but the oil. You're going to be using the oil in actually the cooking when you actually get out the wontons. So, after you mix it all up and you make your, what you would say, your interior of the wonton, you're going to need to get out the wonton wrappers.
All right. I'm just going to add a little bit of rainbow pepper because that's the pepper I have. And the salt, the same thing.
Correct.
It's I love this salt, the Himalayan salt.
Yes, Melissa does a line of grinders, and the pink Himalayan sea salt is one of our most popular. We believe that spices hold true when they're larger, and so there's an automatic grinder on top that you would twist, and it actually breaks the sea salt crystals into ground version, and that's your freshest version of that spice. Also, the same with the other rainbow pepper grinder. It has black, white, red, and green pepper, and the same thing. We feel like you're tasting a fresher product instead of it already being ground. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Whoa. How come I can't? It's backwards because I'm there and then there. So there we go. Okay, good. I'll leave those here. Do we put garlic in this one? No.
No, you don't need to in this one. There, I know garlic is an essential ingredient in many of the Lunar New Year recipes, but doesn't have to be in here. So I think the flavor profiles are really going to come out on all the vegetables. You've got onions and minced ginger root in there as well, and a little bit goes a long way. That you don't need to use garlic in this recipe. So the wonton wrappers is obviously what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to moisten. See the water that you have near you there. You just take your finger and moisten the edges, because when you moisten the edges of the dough of the wonton wrappers, then you'll be able to. You could do it in a square shape, but you'll need to do it to bring it all together there.
Got it.
Once you fill in the filling there. So you're going to take a spoon and about a teaspoon of filling in each middle of the wonton wrapper, or what they call a skin. You're going to press the skin around the filling to seal the interior in. Moisten your fingers if the dough gets sticky.
Okay.
And you're going to
Oh,
fold
that's
the top
cool.
corners over so it meets all the corners.
So this to here?
Yes.
So it is. It's like an old fashioned nurse's cap. Okay.
You just want the, because you're wetting the edges, you want the dough to seal, because you don't want the wonton skin to break open. And that's the reason why you're creating a glue seal with the water on your fingertips on each ends of the dough.
Okay. This time I'm going to put a little bit less in. And we'll make about 4 of these. That.
Yeah, you could just do them. You can do them in the triangular shape if you like. There, you don't have to double fold. That's up to you. It's more of a texture thing when you're going to fry it. I like the triangular shapes. It's much easier, but just make
It
sure
is.
that the dough is sealed with the water on both edges there.
Yes.
But you can bend
It's
it over again if you like, because you are going to be frying it in oil in a little bit.
okay. And the oil is heating up right now. I'm going to keep them as the as the triangle because it seems to be sealing better, like that.
Yeah,
This
triangles
one's over
are
again.
much easier to do. It just depends. It's more of a texture thing if you do a double fold. Um,
It's more of a skill. Maybe we'll, and I'm going to use my fingers this time, and this will be our last one. Okay.
and so are going to be using, you can use a canola oil, saffron oil, or any vegetable oil will work.
We have um, some safflower oil. Let's see if it, yes, I just put a couple of pieces of carrot in there, and I think that's enough oil. And let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, you're just gonna, when you put the wonton in, depending on how big your wok is there, you could put about 6 into yours. You just want to be able to cover the whole wonton. Be careful, you don't want to drop your hands in boiling oil there. So yeah, and you're just gonna let them fry up for a few minutes until you see like an evenly kind of brownish toasted color. And then, yeah, very good. You have your wok spatula.
Right?
Um, yeah, because you don't want to deal with picking them out with your fingers. You can also, if you didn't have a wok spatula, great. You could also use tongs. And what you want to do at this time is on a plate and with paper towels, because when you bring them out of the oil, you want the oil to um, dissipate onto the paper towels. You don't want them full of liquid because then they easily encase in there. Wow, you got it up really high there, so they're going to cook really fast. Get up, just flip it over there really fast.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, you got brown color on almost all the sides there. It's looking good.
I'm going to turn it off because we're only going to make the 4. I'll put these on a plate with the paper towel. We're going to taste stuff now. This is my favorite part. Let's try first the bok choy. It's really nice. It's got a kick, but it's still crunchy. And you put this over rice, over noodles. This is really excellent, Robert, and easy. So I'll put that down. Now I have to tell you that I snuck one. We had 4. I snuck one in advance because I can't wait. So I'm going to take a bite of this one. All right, here we go. Crunchy, no longer hot. The inside is delicious. And a dipping sauce would really pull this together really nicely. Will you come back, Robert?
Definitely. And just to let all your viewers know, for these for the baby bok choy stir fry recipe and the easy wonton recipe, go to melissas.com. You'll see Lunar New Year recipes on our homepage, and gung hei fat choy.
Robert, again, thank you very much. Hold on just for 1 second. I appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you and your comments.